These microacts send biochemical signals of safety, reducing cortisol and making space for the dopamine of motivation. Gradually, the brain associates effort with reward, and what felt burdensome yesterday becomes almost automatic, like brushing your teeth. Remember, courage doesn't sprout in epic leaps, but in daily centimeters. Each time you make an uncomfortable phone call, publish an unfinished text, ask for help, or say no without justifying yourself, you strengthen circuits of autonomy. The mind learns through repetition, therefore repeat what you want to flourish. If you err, celebrate the mistake as evidence of experimentation, not failure. Position yourself as a perpetually building learner, and when fear shouts louder, respond with a gentle invitation. Let's just try for today. Turn big goals into 24-hour windows. 24 hours are manageable for any human being, and when the sun rises again, your brain will count one more victory in the internal statistics that determine whether you are the agent or spectator of your own life. In the end, taking control doesn't mean abolishing doubt, but learning to manage it as a passenger rather than a driver. You will always have turbulent thoughts. That's being human. The question is whether they will have their hands on the wheel. Acknowledge the storm, adjust the course, keep your hands steady and move forward, because the road reveals itself only to those who dare to walk. The next step is to choose the message you want to echo when the scene darkens. Replace the storyline of "I can't handle this" with scripts of impulse, not ballast. Powerful questions help. "What can I learn?" replaces "Why is this happening to me?" What is the smallest viable step breaks the barrier of "it's too big." Writing these questions and answers in a notebook isn't childish. It's mental engineering. On paper, the brain recruits different circuits from those used in daydreaming and records, with more clarity, what is real and what is fear disguised. And don't be fooled. The body is a co-protagonist, a mind trained in courage, but supported by a body suffering from poor sleep quality, poor nutrition, and sedentary behavior, operates on mind ground. The prefrontal cortex, responsible for conscious decision-making, is the first to suffer when sleepless nights and excess sugar sabotage the chemical balance of the blood. Move. Short walks, stretching for 2 minutes between tasks, deep breaths upon waking. Each physical choice sends a clear message to the mind that you care for yourself and therefore deserve to move forward. Also, use constructive imagination. If the mind is skilled at creating tragedies, use the same ability to project detailed victories. Before a presentation, close your eyes for 60 seconds and see yourself walking to the stage. Feel your feet on the ground, your voice steady, your spontaneous smile when the audience reacts. Mental rehearsals activate in brain imaging areas almost identical to those used in real experience. Each visualization counts as an additional training session, imprinting on the brain the sensation of success before it happens. Perhaps someone will say, "It's pointless to imagine. Life is hard." Yes, reality tests our limits, but the difference between persevering and giving up is rarely talent. It's usually the internal narrative that resonates when no one is watching. In solitude, the mind prepares the speech you will repeat in public. If the story is one of defeat, the mouth will utter excuses before the thought finishes. If the story is one of possibility, the mouth will ask for help, declare goals, and invite others to collaborate. A practical exercise to recalibrate the narrative is the evidence journal. At the end of each day, note 3 pieces of evidence that you can guide your own life: responding to a difficult email, choosing a healthy lunch, remaining silent where you would previously react. In a few weeks, you will have a robust file against the internal court that insists on accusing you of incompetence. Beliefs do not hold without evidence. Provide contrary data. Do not underestimate the power of the environment. If your social media feeds are showcases of toxic comparison, clean them up. If your room is cluttered with reminders of failure, reorganize it. If your circle of friends specializes in self-deprecating jokes, offer new repertoire or expand the group. The captive mind is also nourished by what comes from outside. There will be relapses. Old thoughts are well-trodden paths in the forest, easy to find again. When you notice the return of a limiting belief, don't blame yourself. Celebrate the reminder you noticed. And if you notice, you can decide. Breathe, return to the present, choose the right question, execute the minimal action, turn the trigger into a reminder that the process is alive. Consider seeking professional support, therapist, mentor, study group, whatever the name, as long as it provides an honest mirror and grounded technique. Courage is not synonymous with isolation. Taking control includes recognizing when we need help. Imagine now a near future where you wake up and before old voices claim the stage, direct the light to the scenes you want to film. You see yourself at the gym, feel your body warmed up, visualize a difficult conversation resolved with respect. Sense doors opening because, instead of fleeing, you finally knocked. This future is not utopia. It is the sum of daily micro-decisions that, when stacked, transform the panorama. Philosopher William James stated that the greatest discovery of his generation was realizing that humans can change their lives by altering their mental attitude. You live in an era where science and technology confirm this principle. Meditation apps, neuroscience podcasts, gratitude communities, resilience courses. The tools are plentiful. Sometimes it's just the spark of saying, enough. From now on, the wheel is mine. And here we are. If this text resonated with you, don't let it become a nice theory forgotten in a stack of readings. Grab a notebook, define the first concrete gesture, perhaps waking up 15 minutes earlier tomorrow to meditate, perhaps sending that overdue message, perhaps scheduling a routine checkup. Let it be simple but visible. Nothing trains the mind for action more than action itself. Life doesn't wait for you to be 100% sure to happen. The clock doesn't pause until the internal voices silence. Acknowledge the fear, thank it for its intention to protect, and gently invite it to take a seat in the passenger's seat. You take the wheel, adjust the speed, choose the destination. Taking control of the mind is not a one-time heroism. It's a continuous commitment. But each day you assert your inner authority is a day less that insecurity reigns. When you look back, you will see that the prison was made of words you learned to rewrite. Freedom, after all, has always been where your feet dare to tread when the mind receives clear orders to move forward. How many times in the past few months have you given up on possibilities that barely had a chance to breathe? Perhaps you turned down a project because your mind whispered that you weren't ready, silenced a "I like you" out of fear of rejection, or woke up anxious on a perfectly ordinary day because a fast, seemingly harmless thought triggered the alarm of "what if it goes wrong?" The trap is that all of this usually occurs in silence, like a hidden app draining your battery without you noticing. Being a hostage to the mind is not just about living with negative thoughts. It's allowing them to dictate the next chapter, like invisible screenwriters of your story. It's waking up, and before even touching the ground with your feet, feeling too small for your own dreams. It's scrolling through social media, cataloging other people's happiness as undeniable proof that you are behind. It's concluding that the next step is too high and therefore not worth attempting. The truth, however, is simple. Human legs were made to move forward. They just need the clear instruction of a mind that believes in the path. You might ask, but aren't thoughts involuntary? How can I control them? The good news is that you don't need to censor your brain. You need to train it. Neuroscience shows that the mind is plastic. It reorganizes itself according to repeated experience. In other words, what you practice strengthens. If you feed the conviction daily that you are incapable, you engrave deep trails of self-pity. If you cultivate small doses of courage, you pave internal avenues where confidence flows without congestion. Start with the most subversive act of all. Observe. Don't judge. Just watch. Notice the moment when your internal dialogue announces that it's going to go wrong. Feel your body stiffening, your breath shortening, and your heart racing in response to a fear that is still pure fiction. This seemingly passive step is the first act of regaining control over yourself, because the thought that is seen loses its commanding power. With awareness activated, bring in presence. Being present means grounding yourself in the moment and turning off the autopilot of the senses. Try now to rub two fingers together and feel the heat generated from the friction. Close your eyes and mentally identify 5 sounds around you. This isn't mysticism. By anchoring attention on sensory perception, you interrupt the flow of anxious daydreams and retrospective guilt. The body returns the mind to the here and now, and in this fertile ground better decisions sprout. But don't stop there. Build a mental gym of brief routines that reinforce psychological strength. 3 minutes of conscious breathing in the morning, 5 lines of gratitude in a journal, 10 deliberate steps before opening your phone.